All right, here it is. The vacuum filtration station, modeled after the one that Sri Tips. One of these days, I'm going to find out how that name come about. I have an odd interest in the etiology of names. You know, names of places, names of people. How was a name, names of companies? How was a name chosen? Anyway, Sri Tips on YouTube. Thank you very much for posting how to build a reliable vacuum filtration system. I copied it almost exactly. I suppose it's not plagiarism if I give you complete credit, and I'm happy to do so. Plagiarism, copyright infringement, patent infringement, whatever. Thank you for sharing your knowledge. So let me just show you how this was hobbled together. I already had, well, I got this cabinet on Craigslist, and that tray on the top is the bottom of a large bird cage. I've owned a couple parrots, so one very large cockatoo, and that was the tray on the bottom of the cage. I like to get a nice piece of rubber to lay in there, but for now, cardboard box will do it. I had to cut part of the shelf out in order to get the 8-gallon air compressor tank in there, which just like him, I got on Craigslist, and I got that for $25, which was $5 less than what you said, but I spent a whole lot more on brass fittings and all that because I'm in Alaska and everything costs more up here. I looked at the motor that you had, the vacuum motor, and I looked that up on Harbor Freight and ordered the one that they had. So that's a 2.5 cubic feet per minute vacuum motor. Pulled the air compressor off of there, did the proper fittings and hoses to make that work. Unlike him, I did not have to drill out a check valve. Instead of the check valve being down there in the tank, or in the opening where the tank was, I think it was in the hardware that unscrewed from there. I think that's where the one-way valve was, because it was just a straight pass-through. So, but as it sits higher, I even took the wheels off and everything, it still sat too high, so I had to cut that shelf out and put that 4x4 in there to hold it up, and so I can still put my distilled water under here. That'll be another shelf for other things. Those are Q-Pels for some hot work that I do. Anyway, so, and the hoses and the power goes out the back. Got filters and whatnot in here, little 5mm, 9mm, 12.5, 25 centimeter. I said millimeter. 5 centimeter, 9 centimeter, 12.5, 25. Got a nice big porcelain Buckner filter that I think was originally used to brew beer, and a 4-liter vacuum flask, and then the smaller one, I think that's probably 1 liter. These hoses, I had to split this hose right here because it's too small for the nipple on the glass, so it's 1/4 inch. And I've got the 1/4 inch hose barbs right there. So what I think I need to do is go back to Ace Hardware and get the next size up hose barb and get the next size up hose so that it fits on here easily. So I'll replace that out. The hose comes up there, and I followed almost exactly the same diagram and layout. There, that goes, let me see, this one goes to the vacuum switch, and that's the exact same vacuum switch. I found that on eBay. That was the easiest place to find it. This here, the vacuum gauge is the exact same one found on eBay. It was a good price. Comes around here and down to here, just like you laid out on that, Kevin. Let's see. Here's the power right here, and that's wired into here. I need to get a bushing for that, and then the power runs down here and right into here. Sorry if my video is all over the place. I'm getting used to this. Let's see. All right, so let's turn her on. All right. Pressure is going up. I've got the valve just partly closed. All right, and I don't have anything to filter right now, but let that out. There it is at about 9, dropping down to 7. Right there at 9, and dropping down to 7. Now, I thought that I had remembered a wider range of pressure, so I was fooling around with the the adjustments on the inside of the vacuum switch, but that was not the case. It just has a 2 inches of mercury swing, which is just fine. I just had to find that out, so I wasn't trying to figure out how to change it. So I've got a nice instant hot water pitcher that works really well. So there you go. Thank you, Street Tips. Thank you very much. I really appreciate you putting such a wonderfully detailed video together. It helped my brain make it work. Thanks again. Oh, as an aside, over here is my fume hood. Well, it's not. You can see, if you look in there, you can see a tubing, and it goes up and goes out, but that is temporary. And when I first started this, I had a homemade fume hood out of wood and plexiglass, and that got pretty nasty after a while. So that had to be sent to the great beyond. And talking with YouTube poster Street Tips, he made a recommendation for a polypropylene fume hood that was, of course, acid fume resistant, by this company called Salare, SALARE.com. And they also make a polypropylene fan that is acid fume resistant, so that this kind of thing doesn't happen. That is my second fan that has had fumes eat it up. So I'm going on my second 440 cubic feet per minute fan. Right now, that's just carries fumes out from the kiln at the moment. But before, it was pulling some fumes from the quote-unquote fume hood or fume area, and was the first one just disintegrated completely. So this polypropylene fan from Solari.com is going to be the ticket, and that is going to go right there and go out the shop. They've got a 6-inch to 4-inch reducing stack, so that it speeds up the flow of the flow that is going outside and above the building, and entrains more air in, so it throws it up higher, faster, and more diluted, so as not to pose any annoyance or no hazard or annoyance to any neighbors or passersby. So I'll put that up when that is ready. And again, thank you to Sreechips for that tip. Have a good day.